Welcome to Gulfstream Park. It is February 25th, 2015. Christina Basanakis, joined by Ron Nicoletti on a lovely, warm, really nice day in southern Florida.
Yeah, it's a beautiful afternoon. Temperatures in the low 80s today. I don't think the humidity is that high, so we'll see how things work out. A little light breeze. Should be a great day for racing. We've got a fast main track, firm turf course, and we got a great carryover in the Rainbow Six. We got an 11 race card. Starts in race number 6. $249,000 plus. This is going to skyrocket once the betting starts and be well up near $400,000, $350 at least, today. So it's going to be a fun bet and some nice races in that Rainbow Six sequence.
Well, speaking of nice races, last weekend, what a great weekend we had. On Saturday, we had the return of Main Sequence, who's a champion, 2014 champion turf horse, older horse. He came back, won the McDermott in impressive fashion because I almost thought he was beaten.
Everybody thought he was beaten, saying, oh boy, he's not going to win his first race back, and then he just exploded and went by, and won. It was a very nice performance and had people oohing and eyeing.
Yeah, and we also had the Bessalou Stables Fountain of Youth, and that's a Grade 2 race, a very important stepping stone to the Triple Crown. And there was some drama in there. Upstart, who won the Lamb South, Holy Bull, came back, ran a very good race. He crossed the wire first. It's a knockout that finally was awarded the victory, but just a lot of excitement, and I'm looking forward to seeing both those horses back.
Yeah, let's hope they match up. Probably in. Let's see if we could see him in the Florida Derby. Would be real nice. But we have another horse that debuted on Sunday. That did debut once and ran on Sunday. That was really impressive.
Well, speaking of the Florida Derby, that's a Bessalou. It's the Bessalou Stables, also sponsored by Bessalou Stables, Florida Derby, and a horse that looks like he may be going to that race, and that is Kozan. We'll take a look back at last Sunday's race. This was his second career start. He was very impressive. Al Shakab Racing, they paid $1 million for this horse. He's got a beautiful pedigree. He's a half to Royal Delta. He's by Distorted Humor, trained by Todd Pletcher. Talking about oohing and eyeing, Ron, that was a really important.
Yeah, this was as Larry said, track announcer, this one-horse race. He just cruised under the wire. He never even showed him the whip, and it was a great performance. And I know you asked Todd a little later on, and things go right. It looks like he's going to end up in the Bessalou Stables of Florida Derby in March. So that would be nice to see him. Boy, he could be something special.
Yeah, he could be something special, and that would mean Team Tap might have 2 runners at least in there. So a very competitive race, and we'll see looking forward. But Ron, let's get into today's 11 race card, and we will kick off with a maiden special weight, and it is for the ladies, 4-year-olds and up. It's 1.16 miles on the turf course. Right now we see all the money is going to number 3, and that's Casual Smile. That's my top selection. This is a 4-year-old daughter of See the Stars. See the Stars, maybe if some of the good folks are not familiar of this stallion, he's actually won the Arc de Triomphe in France, and he's a very young stallion, but he's done quite well with his first initial crops. The mare, Casual Look, she won the Epsom Oaks. Now, Ron, what really caught my eye about this filly, besides the pedigree, besides the connections, you look back to her race in September 2013. She finished a neck behind a horse named Tagruda. Tagruda, for those of you who follow European racing, she came back the next season. She won the Epsom Oaks in 2014. She also won the King George. That's against older horses, males. She was 3rd in the Arc de Triomphe. So that really caught my eye, and I think really squarely she's the one to beat.
Can I change my pick?
After all that,
I want to go with the 3 now, too. No, I went with the 7, Kalani Rose. I believe he's sitting on a winning performance after returning from the layup to finish a duel for the lead and weakened to 3rd at this level and distance. Trainer Christophe Kamani's really good. He's 26%. Second start off the longer than 180-day layup. Going with that recency, so I threw the 7, Kalani Rose, on my ticket to 3 for all the reasons you just mentioned, Casual Smile. And I used the 5, Lemon Check, making a 3rd start back from a layup. And I think if the pace gets hot, this horse can close and grab a share.
Yeah, I used number 4, Jay Quirk, and this is a filly from the Gary Contessa barn. I think she's going to probably be forwardly placed, and I wasn't sure Atlantic Island, the Bill Mott runner, might have some speed, although I thought Jay Quirk, her numbers they stack up. She was keeping good company, and I think, although her best effort was in the slop, so it'll be interesting. I thought I would throw her on there, and she's up there at a great price, 21 to 1, so I want her for my exotics. we look on to the second race on today's card. This kicks off the early pick 4. And it is a starter optional claiming event with a claiming tag of $35,000. It is a 7 furlongs on the main track, and we do have a couple of scratches in there. Number 1 and number 8. And Ron, it looks like we're in agreement in here. Number 4, Songa from the George Navarro barn. I thought it was quite interesting in terms of the combination of George Navarro, Angel Serpa. Angel Serpa, we were quite familiar with him at Monmouth Park, but although they don't really match up all the time. I haven't seen, it's not a combination that you see all that frequently. Although this horse, this gelding has a couple of wins in southern Florida prior to that latest at Tampa.
Yeah, and that's the one I was keen off, that impressive winning here at this level of distance. That was back on December 23rd. Went up to, it's back now, went up to Tampa and finished 5th. That was in the 6 furlong. It was a stake, the $50,000 Pelican Stakes. You mentioned the connections. I just thought off that form looked like the logical one. We both have the number 2, Tarpey's Goal in second. Turning back to its most accomplished distance.
Yes.
4 races at this distance with 3 wins, holding on gamely to defeat this caliber competition. That was going a mile into 16. And, you know, this horse has won 50% of its races here at Gulfstream Park.
It's interesting. We both put number 9, Dolly, in third, and pretty nice effort last time. Finished just a half length behind Tarpey's Goal. The reason why I put him in third was I do think Tarpey's Goal is probably going to get first run on him. So I thought that although this is one that you have to use.
Yeah, you definitely have to use. You know, the connections. You got Marty Wilson. He's got leading jock Javier Castellano. So a horse like that sort of has to be somewhere on your exotic ticket. And I wouldn't be surprised if he 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think those are the horses that at least you're going to want to use for your early pick 4. We move on to the third race on today's card, and it is a 12-5 maiden claiming event, 6 furlongs on the main track. My top pick, I went with number 2, El Grande Tito. 0 for 8, but pretty consistent sort in terms of he manages to hit the board. The trainer-jockey combination, a very good one. They hit at about 17%. A little bit, the only thing that I noticed, I didn't see any published works, or it doesn't mean there aren't any. I just didn't see them. And sometimes for me at this level, you know, that sometimes is a little off-putting. Although on form, I think this was the one to beat.
Yeah, me too. El Grande, as you mentioned, hit the board in 3 of our races during 2014 against this same caliber competition. 3 starts, no wins, as you mentioned, but 2 seconds and a third. I used the 1 Jemson in second, plunging to this level in first start since facing considerably tougher here, but that was last spring. The trainers Joe Cantonese, Gabriel Sayers handling that the inside post today, and I threw the I Feel Great, who you have on your ticket, but the wide open affair there. If you have a chance to go a little deeper in your early pick 4, this is the race where you want to go. There's a lot of questions to be answered in that spot.
Yeah, I Feel Great. I think that's going to be the one that I'm most intrigued to see come back, you know, that drop coming back off that kind of layoff. On to the 4th race on the card, a 62.50 claiming event. It is 6 furlongs on the main track. And my top selection, number 4, Honey Bunny Boo Boo.
Yes, dear.
That's what I call you all the time.
Yeah, right.
And we'll take a look back at that last victory that was January 25th. And Ron, not the most graceful of exits.
You got shuffle back to next to last right there.
Yeah, and she did get shuffled back, and she actually, we're going to watch her in the stretch here. She rallied. She made a nice move, and she ended up winning the race.
Yeah, you just thought that there, you know, after that, beginning and everything, you just thought you'd catch her, and she just held on, kept running and running, and won it in that race. Now you're saying the other horse is going to go right by, but she was game enough to hold on and win it by that half a head, and I thought it was a nice performance, and probably deserves the moniker of the one to beat, but I did go with the 3, Maley's Hope. It's a claiming tag sliced in half today. Returned from the layoff to break a step slow, stalk 4 wide on the turn. Fate to finish the distance 5th, but that was against considerably tougher in the open claiming test. Giuseppe Ayacidernia, Edgar Zayas, the 4 Honey Boo Boo. You saw the reason why we're going to use that one, and I closed it out with the number 8, Solitary, who you had in second.
Yeah, that's another horse that I used. On to the 5th race, and the 5th race we do have a 25,000 claiming event. It is 6 furlongs on the main track. We do have a scratch of number 3, and Ron, my top pick, I went with Gombe Dancer, and appropriately enough, we have the video of Gombe Dancer last time, and just look at the trouble at the start. here, Ron.
This one really gets whacked.
Yeah, hops a little bit at the start. If you notice, he hops and then he gets completely squeezed out of position early. Then he comes back. He does finish 7th, but that was not a great start. And I'm looking for him to run a much better race. He's dropping back. I think he's dropping back to a much more appropriate trip for him, and he's a closer, and Ron, I think there's a good amount of speed in here.
Yeah, I mean, he figures on a ticket. I put him on my ticket, but I did go with the number 9 Montana Cowboy, dropping into this $25,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime event after facing allowance competition before that 2-month freshening. Marty Wilson, this is a speedy son of Grand Slam with a return. He got a half-mile bullet workout, so I just thought on the drop in class, working well in the morning, was a logical choice to be on the ticket. 8 Gentrify in second, and Goombay Dancer from that bad start.
Well, we're going to take a short break, folks, and we'll come back and have a look at the 6th race on the card that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow 6.
Gulfstream Park is one of Florida's top entertainment destinations, mixing restaurants, clubs, a casino, and international boutique shops with world-class racing. In a lavish, sun-drenched setting with the feel of a Mediterranean village, Gulfstream is a leading year-round entertainment and tourist destination and the home of luxury residences in 2014. The Stronach family, owners of Gulfstream Park, is committed to the sport of thoroughbred racing and the grace, spirit, and generosity of the horse.
The Rainbow 6 is back and it's better than ever. Now with a 20-cent base wager, it will expand the market for the popular bet. And in addition to doubling the base wager, the percentage return for the winners on the day the jackpot isn't hit increases to 70%, with 30% going to the carryover pool for the next program. Gulfstream Park, you got to be here each and every day.
Welcome back to Gulfstream Park. We're going to have a look at today's 6th race that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow 6, and there is a carryover.
$249,000 plus. So this thing is going to skyrocket, like we said a little earlier, probably going to get up there around over 350. I'm guessing it could even be $400,000 today. They really bet it when there's a big carryover like this. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it starts, as you mentioned, in race number 6. And I started it off with the number 7, and so did you, Beauty Surprise, dropping a notch on the claiming scale. Return from the layoff to finish 2nd against $35,000 2 lifetime claimers going 7.5 furlongs. Giuseppe Iacidernia, Luca Panici in the saddle today. And the number 2, Race and Shine, who I put on my ticket. I wanted to show you why, Christine, if we go back and look at this horse's start last time out. You'll see him there. Race and Shine is the number 3. And I just think she got clobbered.
She got
clobbered in there, was back to last, and she rallied from 12 lengths off the pace that race. She was stuck behind. You see her back there. She came back and finished 5th in the race against similar. That was going 7.5 furlongs. So I just thought after that performance, you got to have the number 2, Race and Shine, somewhere on your ticket. And I know you used the 9, Indian Chaser, a speedy daughter of Warpath.
Yeah, I'm hoping that she's going to go straight to the front and maybe play Catch Me If You Can. Although, as I said, I do think that Beauty Surprise, she's consistent. I think she'll be the one to beat in here off the drop. We look ahead. So how deep are we going to go, Ron?
We're going to go a little deeper in this one before we get started. I think that we have the logical horses up there. I'm going to add your 6 horse too. But I just think the 7 might be a horse that's the logical, but you don't sing.
Yeah, that's right. On to the 7th race on the card. It is a 25,000 maiden claiming event. It is 5 furlongs on the turf course. And Ron, the pick 5 starts in race 7. My top selection, I went with number 8, Sora. This is a daughter of Fusaichi Pegasus. You look on the bottom side, the mare is a more than ready mare, so this is where I'm keying in on using this filly. She's also has some nice works coming into this for Wesley Ward, especially if you look back in October, December. She was October and even January. At the end of January, she had a nice work. So Everything given, Fusaichi Pegasus, I would usually not go with these on the turf, but it looks like she's got some turf in there.
What about the fact that she's the only filly against the boys?
Yeah, well, that doesn't bother me because it's Wesley Ward.
Well, I did go with the 2, Rock Me Again, and this one is turning back to 5 furlongs after opening out. You look at that last race, opened a quick 3-length lead before weakening the lane to finish 5th. Again, similar going a mile. Luis Ramirez, the trainer. Luis Saez handling the classic turnback move, showing that speed, going long, turning back to 5/8. I think it's a logical choice. I use the 8 Sora for the exact reason you mentioned. Filly against the boys, but it's Wesley Ward. He does it all the time, and I don't see a problem.
He ships over horses to Royal Ascot in England, and he runs them. You don't doubt Wesley. But good point that you did use the Rock Me Again, though. Good point to point out.
Yeah, I just think she went good, and you had it in there. And I also used the 10 Lord of the Light, dropping today for Eddie Pleason Jr., who's got 2 in the race. He's got Mr. Miles in there. Juan Lavery riding this one. I'm just wondering what to do. You know, we say this all the time. You got to watch both parts of that entry. I think you got to go a little deep in here for your start of your pick 5 of the afternoon, which is only a 50-cent wager.
I did think Rock Me Again was going to run better on that turn back, and my concern with him and why I didn't put him on top, but I did use him in second, was because he's starting to read a little bit like a horse that'll get himself in the game at the right level, but he doesn't necessarily break through with the victory. So I'm hoping that I was looking for an unknown, and that's why I threw number 8 Sora on top in race 7. We move on to the 8th race on today's card. It's 6250 claiming event. It is a mile on the main track. There's a jockey change. Number 5 will be ridden by Manny Aguilar, and my top pick, Ron, we're in agreement, number 4, and that's Happy to Be Here. And this is a gelding that from the Steve Town barn. Looks like it will be showing speed in here, Ron, and doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of other speed in here.
Yeah, he's been knocking on the door in consecutive starts from breaking from the rail. Now he's going out a little further to post 4, trying to notch that elusive second career victory. You mentioned the connections, Luis Saez in the saddle. I just thought the number 4, Happy to Be Here, was the logical choice in there. We got our exacta flip-flop. I used the 11, My Uncle Charlie, stretching out to a mile. After that 4-wide trip last time out, produced his second place finish against this same caliber of competition, going 3/4 of a mile. So I just think this horse can run well in this spot, and I see you used them on the ticket along with the 3, Not Welcome.
Not Welcome, I thought was one that also going to be, I think Not Welcome and also My Uncle Charlie both going to be in a stalking position, and I think they'll be pretty forwardly placed, and I think that's how they're going to have to beat number 4, Happy to Be Here. Speaking of Happy to Be Here, let's move on to the 9th race on the card, and it is a starter optional claiming race. It is 35,000 claiming tag, 7.5 furlongs on the turf course. We do have a few scratches in here, number 6, 7, and number 11 from the also eligibles, main track only entrant. I think this is a really cool race, very competitive race, because I'm looking at your top selection. I'm thinking, how do you not put this horse, how did I not put this horse on top? And winner of the Tierra Stakes, that was on Claiming Crown Day. She reeled off 3 consecutive victories, was beaten last time. I did, in fact, go in a different direction. I went with the number 4, One Penny Piece, and she's put a couple of back-to-back, nice races back-to-back. And Ron, I think you can go several ways, as is reflected with our picks.
Yeah, I really like the number 1, St. Borealis, from its past performances. It breaks from the rail after that really impressive 3-race win streak, which included that victory you mentioned in the Claiming Crown Tiara, ended when she finished 4th as the favorite here on January 4th. She's a daughter of War Chant, working beautifully for the return, and that's why I really liked it. I just think that, it's hard to win 2 races in a row, never mind 3, including a race like the Claiming Crown Tiara. I'm going to give her another chance. 4, One Penny Piece, cutting back today, a logical choice to be on the ticket. But I used the number 10, Weinberger, which you didn't. Moved to the Terry Pompey barn, beat a claim, notched her 2nd consecutive turf victory. It's a daughter of Rockhorn 10, cruising through her conditions, condition claimers. Now she's going to get tested for class as she steps up against these multiple winners.
I used number 5, Will to Shine, for a couple of reasons. Her one race that she really didn't show up that day, it was over. First of all, it was a tough race, 62.5 allowance, optional claiming 2 other than, and it was over a good turf course. I think she probably prefers it on the firm side. Also, speed. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of speed in here, and I'm thinking they might try to steal it with her. So I'm still thinking she might be around and might be able to get a apiece.
And a good point, but we've been watching the races. If you watched over the weekend here, we haven't had much rain in South Florida the last few days. Turf course, it doesn't have too much given. It's the horses that are forwardly placed or stalking position are doing better than they did, say, in the past. So always keep that in mind. You watch the races earlier throughout the day. We mentioned you see his speed is holding, then it's a shot where a horse like this you've got to use on your ticket.
And it's very tough for a horse to close, to give too much of an advantage and to try to close late. So that's another thing that I like them to at least be in striking position. We'll move on to the 10th race on the card, and we do have a 62. It's an allowance optional claiming event, 2 other than, with a claiming price $62,500, 7 furlongs on the main track. And Ron, we're going to take a look. We're going to go back and have a look at number 7, 3 Alarm Fire, in his latest race. He had some excuses for that day.
Yeah, he gets bopped here and he gets shuffled back to last. You see, he's behind the pack in here, and we're gonna fast forward to his run in the stretch, and he was really flying at the end. The horse that's on the lead is City of Weston, which is bane of my existence.
Your nemesis.
My nemesis, but this horse ran very well that day, City of Weston, and this horse to close after that start to get shuffled back, I thought was a good performance. The Tom Albatrani, Javier Castellano atop this Son of Pyro. Lots to like about this horse. We both have him on the ticket, but number 3, Good Times Had By All, is a pretty nice horse too.
I like him a lot in this race. I think that he's going to be forwardly placed, or he'll probably be in a stalking position. He does need some pace, and it looks like there might be a couple of horses in there that might be able to set it up for him. Look who he finished second behind in the Rapid Transit.
Grand Shores, yep.
Our buddy Grand Shores came back. He won last time, so he's been knocking heads with some nice horses, and you can't count out Good Time Had By All.
No, not at all. I mean, he's got the class, and he's got the tactical ability to run very well in that race. Even though 3 Alarm Fire, we showed you that, flashback of what happened to him in that race. You got to have the 3 Good Times Had By All on your ticket. Number 9, Tuscan Getaways, the horse I used in third, making the third start back from the layup, eligible to show more. He finished a willing third behind 3 Alarm Fire last time out. Ricky Griffith is the trainer. He's been doing an excellent job at the meeting, and I just threw him on the ticket, Tuscan Getaway.
I used Sam Sparkle, and I thought that last time he ran in the Sunshine Million Sprint, a very tough tough race, as we were talking about Grand Shores. He was second in that race, and he's finding easier company here. So I think he's in a much better spot, and hopefully we'll get him at a fair price. We look on to the 11th and final race on today's card. It is a $35,000 maiden claiming event, 1.16 miles on the turf course. Ron, super high 5, as always, in the final race of the day. And I think we got another competitive affair. And I have on top a horse that you did not use, and that's number 3, Lying Eyes. I think that this filly, she will show some kind of speed. Either she'll be forwardly placed, or she'll be. I don't think that she's going to be far out of it. Last time didn't get off to the greatest of starts, and I think maybe she was a little bit further back than maybe they wanted her to be. But for Steve DeMauro, again, tactics, I'm hoping that she shows some speed in here.
If she shows some speed in here, it's one that you'll want to use on the ticket. I did go with the horse you had in second, and that's Polly My Love. A good third of going a mile on the turf right here on January 16th. Now stretching out to a mile on the 16th. Shipped up to Ocala to finish 4th. That was in the OBS sprint, which was contested on the synthetic surface up there. Juan Rodriguez has Javier Castellano handling a local return. I'm thinking this horse, after going in a sprint, is going to have some gas early on and be up there, and Polly My Love on my ticket for that reason. I used the 11 Westminster Road, who finished second in front of Polly My Love. So if I like Polly My Love, I think I got to have this horse on the ticket. Yeah. They competed at this level. That race I mentioned on January 16th, dropped, failed to handle tougher last time out. $75,000 maidens. Marty Wolfson, Edgar Zayas to ride. Javier Castellano going to Polly My Love.
Polly My Love, interesting, because was 4th by 13 lengths, and on just at a first glance, that might look off-putting. However, the 8-length winner in that stake last time was Lady Shipman, and we saw her. We had a chance to see her. She's a really nice filly. She's a very nice stakes caliber filly. I think even when she steps out of the restricted company, she's a very nice filly. So I think that's a reason why I used her. And the reason I didn't use number 11, Westminster Road, not because I didn't think that she doesn't have a chance to win in here, speed. I don't think there's a lot of speed it doesn't look like there's a lot of speed in here. That might compromise Westminster Road a little bit.
Yeah, a good pace to run at. Both of us have the number 8 Mama's favorite on our ticket. And when you look at the past performance, and you've just handicapped this race, this one certainly looks like the one to beat in here after coming winning ahead of X in the maiden ranks at the same level and distance. The trainer's Cathy Monjon as Luis Saez named to ride. And I think this horse, especially on the super high 5, cannot be left off your ticket.
And I think that you might even get 9-2 on the morning line. I'm thinking it might be a little bit longer later on in the afternoon. But I agree with you. I think that's the one that you're going to have to use. And Ron, that's it for today's 11 race card, but we do have that big carryover in the Rainbow 6.
Yeah, and it starts in race number 6. It's $249,000 plus. If you're not aware of the Rainbow 6, it's only a 20-cent wager. Just a couple of weeks ago, someone with a $4 ticket, I believe, won $132,000. So it's a lot of fun, and it's good to be involved because you can add a couple of more horses. You might like the ones we gave you out today, might not, and that's the beauty of the Rainbow 6. As I mentioned, $249 plus.
Well, if we have a fun day of racing here at Gulfstream, Ron and I will be back the rest of the afternoon. Mr. Larry Colmus will be joining us in just a moment to give us all the updated changes and scratches for the day. Folks, stick around. We've got a good one on tap.
There's a new day dawning in Florida. Never before has a Breeders' Cup Classic winner retired to stud in the Sunshine State. Until now. Adena Springs presents 3-time Grade 1 winner and earner of over $4 million,